Hey everyone, this is Ruan. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about SEO in 2024, which is a new year, and I'm excited to discuss this because so many things have changed, even in the way that I've done SEO in the past. And so for those of you who are potentially new to this channel, I run a digital marketing agency for about 5 years now, and I've seen SEO go from a very manual task to a more of a machine learning task. And so today I'm going to be showing you some AI features that you can use after this video to get started on immediately to enhance your productivity, your profits, and I'm going to show you how to leverage all of this within one single application with several different use cases. So let's get started on what exactly is SEO in 2024. You know, a lot of us have taken pride in what we've done in the past decade or so, optimizing title tags, optimizing keywords, optimizing backlinks. But the game is just changing so fast. SGE, Search Generative Experience, ChatGPT, OpenAI, a lot of these tools are changing the way we actually search on search engines and the way that these tools deliver their results. SEO is still a major source of traffic for a lot of websites, but it's actually the best time in history to start doing SEO because of how these AI tools now work. So let's discuss how these search engines work. Bard, SGE, Google, they're basically trying to show the user the most relevant information when they make a search. So if they search for a plumber in a certain area, the general business model in the past has been to charge the plumber to actually do their SEO for them so they make more revenues. And that model really hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is it has become intensely easier to do this if you're a beginner and you're not an expert. I truly believe that in the near future, the expert will be something of the past and most people will be able to perform SEO services for businesses and make a living out of it. So let's get started with creating a comprehensive SEO strategy that you can take and you can sell and you can deliver on, leveraging the power of AI. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a hypothetical customer. And in this case situation, it's going to be a dentist, one of our beloved clients that we've worked with for a very long time, Westlake Dental Care in Virginia. We've gone down to his practice. We've shot in videos. We've done his SEO. We've made his website almost the third time now. He's on his second renditioning of his website. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and let Splashdot, an AI tool that I've been using, to basically give it some context about the client before we generate our SEO strategy. So with this information, I'm going to put in the website, the name, the practice information, the phone number, the tag, and then Splashdot, built on ChatGPT, is going to respond and basically tell me that it's ready to go and to put in some of the content. Anytime you're working with AI, something that I have found that's really successful is telling the AI your role, the task, and giving it context. If you do that, when you continue to prompt it, it's going to give you that context window. On GPT-4, I believe it's 64,000 words of context window. That's going to make your result even better. So the more you continue to prompt, the better. So in this case scenario, I did that. Now, for this client specifically, I'm going to prompt it with this term. And basically what I'm going to say is I want Splashdot to give me the top 10 keywords to target for their dental implants campaign. This customer is looking to get more leads from their implant campaign in this example. And then I also want Splashdot to provide me this result in a table format, showing me the volume, the cost per click, and then sorting that information from highest to lowest. So let's go ahead and do that. What's going to happen in this situation is Splashdot is going to make a call to one of the several tools that are built inside of it, and that call is going to return data on the actual result. So now, as you can see, what Splashdot has done is it's talked to one of my favorite SEO tools, SpyFu, and now it's going to give me a list of all of the keyword phrases inside of SpyFu's database, the search volume, the cost per click associated with that term, and all of these keywords are things that I can target within my SEO campaign and neatly organize this information for me. And so what we're using AI for in this situation is we're using it to identify a lot of the keywords that we're going to be targeting with the SEO campaign. Now that I have this context, one of the most important things that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start writing content for my web page that I'm trying to rank for implants, or my website that I'm trying to rank for implants. And you got to remember, the way to sell this to somebody, or the way to do this for your business, is if you charge, let's say in this case, $3,500 for a dental implant, that's how much the business is going to make. It's very important that you're showing up at the top of Google for people searching these different keyword phrases. And when we get into the ROI, the return on investment calculations that we can do with Splashdsh in just a moment, I think you're going to be blown away with how quickly you can take this information and sell it to a business, or implement it for your own business if you're doing digital marketing yourself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prompt Splashdsh, and I'm going to have it give, using the context, using these terms, I'm going to have it write some SEO content that I want for the web page. In this case, it's going to be title tags, it's going to be meta descriptions, it's going to write an H1, an H2, an H3, an H4, and an H5, which is all of the on-page optimization methods that you should use when writing a page. Now, if you guys don't know, the value of this is, now that I know the terms that SpyFu has given me of search volume, I can now write these different tags with this context in mind to ensure I'm targeting the top phrases. So let's go ahead and write that prompt. And then what I'm going to do with that information is, once Splashdsh gives me a return, I can now pass this over to our team, and they can actually implement this onto a web page. So here is the SEO optimized layout for Westlake Dental. As you can see, Splashdsh wrote me a title tag. It wrote me a description. It wrote me a heading 1. It wrote me a heading 2, a heading 3, a heading 4, and a heading 5. And the really cool thing about this is Splashdsh was smart enough to say this layout strategically places the high volume keywords that SpyFu provided us in prominent positions while maintaining a natural and engaging tone. As you can see, the expert dental implant services, you can see that it's actually taking the top keyword phrases and organizing those into the heading so I can maximize my SEO value. Now that I have some of this content here, I do want to go ahead and get, let's say, an article written, but I want to make sure that that article will rank on Google. And so now that I have the terms, I can use a service like originality.ai, which is another integration that's available inside of Splashdsh, that's actually going to tell me how well this piece of content would perform on Google. So my prompt is going to be pretty simple. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say, now using these keywords, write me an article, and I'm going to have it bold the terms when used. Based on that, now that I have some of the content to use for the page, Splashdsh is now going to write me an article with the keywords with the highest volumes in mind, and it's going to bold where it mentions those keywords, so I, as an SEO, have a solid understanding of where this information is. So now I have a title, Discover the Best Dental Implants Near Me in Potomac Falls with Westlake Dental. And as you can see, a lot of the terms in the order of the format of the search volumes, they're already written and they're bolded, so I can ensure that the AI has included a lot of the top search terms that people are using when they're searching for these related keywords. But one thing that's really important is I want to go ahead and run an originality test on this article, because I want to make sure that if I'm writing an article and publishing it on Google, it passes a few different tests that you should really pay attention to when doing SEO, especially if you're using AI. The first one is plagiarism. You don't want the AI gathering information from other sources. With Splashdsh, which is the latest version of ChatGPT 4, this information is guaranteed almost to not plagiarize. The second one is you want to make sure that the AI detection score is relatively low, and the way that you do that is you revise the content that Splashdsh is going to give you and then make that content a little more human, which ultimately comes down to avoiding jargon, using less words, using less stuffing, and really condensing your article, which can be done in the form of various iterations directly within inside of Splashdsh. So once I get my originality test back, I can then reprompt it and say, use less words, use less jargon, use less plagiarism. But now that I've prompted this information, Splashdsh is going to give me a result, as you can see, and here's exactly how it reads. The originality test for the article was the following. AI detection is that with a score of 1, which indicates this one was written by AI. And that's what I meant before. You're going to have to kind of edit this information down or reprompt to lower the amount of jargon that's used. The second one is the plagiarism score is 0, which is amazing. This suggests that there are no instances of copied content from external sources, and the article has a flesh reading score of 47.3, which is considered moderately difficult when you're talking about different types of medical content, you may want to copy edit this information to make it a little bit more easy to understand. But ultimately, dental implants isn't necessarily an easy to understand topic unless you specifically need one. So from there, I can use this information to continue to refine the effectiveness of my content by rewriting it, rerunning originality scans, rewriting it, rerunning originality scans until I get it to the point to where it's the type of content that I want. Now, with any SEO that's happening in today's world, most of it is going to be done with AI. So one thing that you may want to consider is utilizing graphics, videos, media, infographics, downloads, anything that's going to distract the user from potentially reading all of the text. Most of them want to watch some sort of informative content visually. So now that we've gotten potentially an article that's been written, whether that's going on a landing page or a home page or a service page or anywhere that we want to talk about implants, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some local research to figure out who's ranking for what the domain authority is in that local area, and how hard and difficult it is going to be for me to rank. If you weren't familiar with this, domain authority is a scale of 0 to 100. Ahrefs uses domain rating. SEMrush uses domain rating. The tool that we're going to use for this example is going to be Moz. But the first thing I want to do is I want to get context of how many businesses are located within this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically ask Splashdsh to find me the top 10 dental implant providers in Sterling, Virginia in the map section of Google. And I want it to only return their name and their review count. And I'm going to prompt it to put it inside of a table format so that I can comparatively analyze this information. So now we're going to get a result back, and we're going to find the top 10 implant providers inside of a table format. So you can see there are a couple of different options. One has 183 reviews, one has 580 reviews, one has 456 reviews, one has 212 reviews. And from a quick competitive landscape, I can see the businesses that are ranking inside of that area with their review count. So the next step that I'm going to do, now that I have some context, is I'm going to use the Moz search tool, and I'm going to figure out what the average domain authority is in that marketplace and what it's going to take for Westlake to outrank these competitors for the term dental implants. So let's go ahead and run a prompt that is going to call on the Moz API that's built into Splashdsh that is going to go ahead and get the domain authority for these terms. So here's the prompt. So now my prompt is, for these domains, I'm going to request Splashdsh to basically find their domain authority, find their spam score, put that into a table format, and then show me their average domain authority. What that's going to do is it's going to allow me to let me know if Westlake Dental in this specific situation can even compete for the term dental implants. And that's really important, because if their domain authority is a lot lower than the competition, then this might be a term that we may not even want to consider targeting, or we may want to consider targeting long form terms, which are keywords that have potentially more than 4 words. And in that case, we can reprompt Splashdsh to ask the tools that we have available to show us keywords that are above 4 terms that include dental implants. By filtering this information, I can find keywords really quickly that we can potentially rank for. We've gone ahead and called on that API. So now you can see that the targets are the domains that have been listed above. And now Splashdsh is going to run some Python to put this information into a table format that's going to allow us to basically then see what the average domain authority is and find the top domain authorities within the marketplace, so that we can do further research to either find what backlinks are linking to those sites, what spam scores they have, so the toxicity of their domain links. Spam score is, once again, a scale of 0 to 100 of how toxic backlinks are to a given domain. And ultimately, I can use this data to present it to the client, to present it to my team, to figure out how much money to spend on link building. AI gives us such incredible features to do this. So let's take a look. So now we have our table, and we have the highest domain authority, which is Ridgetop Dental. The medium high is Titan Dental. The third highest is Cascada Dental. The average domain authority is 10.2. And now what I can do is, rerunning this similar prompt, I can ask to figure out what the domain authority is of Westlake Dental Care. So here we go. We now have the domain authority of Westlake Dental VA, which is a 15. So if the average of that marketplace is 10 and our client is 15, that is an indication that I can confidently tell this customer there's a pretty good chance we're gonna rank at least in the top 10 for the term dental implants for the search volumes that we provided with the article that we checked with the plagiarism check. So now what I'm gonna do is, now that I understand that this information is attainable, I'm now gonna provide our client in this situation with return on investment estimates based on those keyword phrases. So the first step is writing my prompt that's gonna call on the API necessary, which in this case are the keywords. So here's what that prompt looks like. In this case scenario, I'm asking our service to calculate the return on investment of this SEO campaign, assuming the client pays us $1,000 per month and they get 1% of the traffic of the total volume, and that 1% of the traffic gets a 1% total conversion rate to becoming a customer, and the average sale of the dental implant is $3,500. Because the context of the keywords we're targeting, the dental implant keywords, are there, Splashdsh is going to call on that information and then write some code to basically do the math for us to get the ROI estimates. And we would present this information to the customer so they can get a solid understanding of how much money they can potentially make by ranking on the top of Google with this AI SEO strategy for the terms dental implants. This also works very well if you're doing PPC, or if you're doing meta ads, or if you're doing anything that requires you to provide ROI estimations. What we're gonna do is, this is gonna break it down by keywords, it's gonna show us the ROAS, and it's gonna show us the total, and then I can use that information to continue down a path, which I'm gonna show you in just a few seconds, for the other services that Westlake Dental Care offers. So here is our table. Term by term, I'm gonna see the keyword, the ROI estimate, the return on ad spend estimate, the estimated revenue of this dental implant campaign, and what it means for this business. Now, you can always take this a step further as well. Once we get the totals, I'm gonna be able to communicate with the customer, here's what it's going to mean for your business if you rank on the top of Google for these terms. And in this case, it's going to be an estimate revenue of $38,000, which significantly surpasses the monthly SEO investment of $1,000, indicating a highly successful campaign. Now, of course, there's tracking tools that you should use to ensure that the customer actually closes these deals, or that your business closes these deals. You want to use a CRM. We recommend something like Go High Level or HubSpot, any type of CRM that's going to allow you to track your pipelines, etc. But just from a sheer market perspective of checking different market overviews, this is how you can assess the value of some of these terms if the customer potentially ranks for them. I'm also using hypotheticals. I think that's kind of important for me to tell you. I don't know if they're going to get 1% of that traffic. I don't know if they're going to get a 1% conversion rate. Those numbers might be higher, they might be lower, but for this video and for this example, I'm just showcasing you how SEO estimates are going to be done in 2024. They're going to leverage tools like Splashdsh that are going to leverage AI, and they're going to have this information readily available for their clients. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank the AI, and then I'm going to say, this is a great analysis. For this analysis, provide me with a total revenue per month, per quarter, and per year. And I want to just give the customer a understanding of exactly how much money they're going to make long term. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prompt it to give me the per month, the per quarter, and the per year for these different terms, so I can accurately and calculate this information by different lengths. And once I have these terms, the cool thing about this is now that it's within the context of the AI, I'm going to follow up with another prompt. I'm going to call on the API again, and because there's context, it's going to know what to do to calculate this information with, let's say, the Invisalign terms of the practice. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a prompt here, and that prompt is going to say, now with this math, calculate volume, conversions, and ROI projections for the top 10 Invisalign terms. Because it's already done this with dental implant related terms with an average sale of, let's say, $3,500, I'm going to say the average sale of Invisalign related terms is going to be $4,000. And now what OpenAI and Splashdsh are going to do is it's going to take the calculations that I made before with implants, and then it's going to rerun a SpyFu API call and the same Python script to give me projections and ROI estimates for Invisalign related terms. You can see how it's showing some of the revenue numbers of what they can expect to rank for the different implant related terms for the month, the quarter, and the year, which is roughly about $465,000 per year. Now, is a business willing to pay $12,000 a year to rank and make $465,000 for just the implant related terms? Of course, yes. But now let's go ahead and make this API call again, except this time we're going to do the same math, but calculating the conversions and the ROI projections for the different Invisalign related terms. And as you can see, it called on the API. It's finding Invisalign related terms. It's giving me 10 potential outputs. And then it's taking this information and running a Python script to figure out how many people search these top Invisalign terms, which ones I can target, so I can do this process over and over and over again with all of the different terms that the practice, services that the practice actually offers. So now that I have this information actually running in Python, now I'm going to get a return from Splashdashed that's going to show me what these calculations would look like if we focus on Invisalign as a term instead of dental implants. And keep in mind, the cool thing about this is now that this is within the 62,000 word context window, you can now see that it's giving me the ROI analysis for the 10 terms. It's giving me Invisalign, 1,370 visitors, 13 conversions at a sale of $4,000. That's going to give me $54,000 in revenue. And then it's going to provide me a table with all of these different results for Invisalign. So keep in mind, I can keep going down this rabbit hole of all of the different services that the business offers, and I can tell them basically how much the SEO value of the different keywords or the services that they're looking to rank for is worth for their business or your business. And then it will actually show me the total ROI on a yearly basis or a monthly basis if they rank for the top terms in Invisalign. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is where SEO is going in 2024. It's going to be very AI driven. And if you're interested, you can check out the description to learn more about this AI, specifically Splashdashed, and stay tuned for our next video.